Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of BlazeIT Tech Talks. I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jakub. Today we're doing a short market overview of headless content management systems. Hi Hugo.
Hi Kuba.
So today we're doing a market overview of headless CMSs.
Right.
But we're not going to go over all of them because that would be an impossible task for
Sure.
us. So we will just talk about four.
Yeah.
That's Graph CMS, Contentful, Ghost, and Strapi.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Which one would you like to start with?
So let's start with Graph CMS,
Our
favorite one.
Yeah.
So Graph CMS, I would say, is would be one of our top picks. Not only because of our history of Graph CMS, but I would say that what we like most about Graph CMS is that how they focus about developer experience, and also that they're GraphQL first. So their entire API you can interact with. They have both content API, both management API, and you can read and write everything using GraphQL, which is perfect for us because we as a company love GraphQL, and
we're doing everything we can with GraphQL.
So obviously, like a full GraphQL CMS is a pretty no-brainer solution for us.
Right. And from my experience with it, we get a lot of flexibility, as we do with pretty much every CMS. But from what I picked up is that it's really easy to structure your data. Is it the case? Is it easier to structure the data in Graph CMS compared to others?
I'm not sure if it's easier. It's definitely very easy, maybe as easy or comparatively easy. It doesn't shine in when compared to others with how easy it is, because I would say the way you define your data is most of the time similar across the different headless CMSs.
Right.
But where it shines is definitely interacting with the data. So having the API playground ready, which works exactly like GraphiQL, having an ability to just interact with two GraphQL APIs and nothing more is absolutely fantastic.
And it's definitely something that we recommend to our startup clients, because I believe that Graph CMS is still in its sort of early stage. I mean, they're pretty big, but they're not 10 years on the market, and I would say that their pricing is quite competitive.
Right. I would say that they're definitely don't have the most market presence yet, and they're not as mature as some other CMSs. But I would definitely place them somewhere in the fastest growing section.
Oh, that's definitely true.
Yeah, and they roll out product updates very regularly, and I'm usually very excited to see what they are, because most of the time it's actually something like actually exciting.
And that it really impacts our everyday work.
Yeah. Whereas in the case with many other headless CMSs is that they also do product updates, but most of the time their systems are so already set in stone that the updates are not that something to get that excited about.
Right. Also, keep in mind that we can be a little bit biased.
True.
I mean, you did kind of develop it, so.
I mean, yeah, but even if I didn't, I
we still love it, and it's definitely a great CMS, and it's definitely great for startups. We have already battle tested that. So maybe let's move on to our next CMS.
Maybe as also a fun fact, we used Graph CMS a lot of times, even for when we didn't intend to use it, but to just model the data structure of the architecture
right,
that we're gonna go for, or rather not the architecture, but to just model the data, how we wanted the relationships to look like, because it really gives a good picture of it.
I think I know which project you're talking about. Yeah, we did that. So, Graph CMS, great for startups, great for corporate clients as well. Very innovative, fast moving. In general, very solid choice.
Yeah.
Next one, I think we should go with the heavy hitter here. So Contentful, the one that's definitely the largest
Right.
and definitely the longest one on the market, right?
Exactly.
They've been here forever, right? They're the OG.
Definitely the biggest market presence and definitely the longest time there.
And the largest team. I think their company has like 400 or 500 employees.
Probably.
So it's pretty big.
Yeah.
We are also partners for Contentful, so we can be a little bit biased here as well. But yeah, let's dig into it.
Right. So I would say the biggest difference from what we already covered, so Graph CMS, would be that the primary way you interface with Contentful is via REST API as opposed to GraphQL API. So those are basically two different ways of interacting with content. Contentful has a GraphQL API, but it's on higher paid plans, and it's a read-only. So it's not. Whereas in Contentful you can use GraphQL, in Graph CMS it's by default it's what the whole product is based on and what whole product lives by.
So GraphQL native Graph CMS versus REST native.
Basically,
Contentful.
And since Contentful is REST native, it also has a lot of SDKs to interact with the content. I feel like they're the CMS, probably because of the biggest market presence and the longest time, that they have the most development tools available. It's not necessarily something that makes it better than other platforms, because for example, if your whole CMS is GraphQL, like in the example Graph CMS, you don't really need that many developer tools, because you can just use developer tools for GraphQL. Whereas if you have a REST API, it's kind of a different story. And Contentful does a really great job of providing tools that make it very easy and painless to interact with their APIs and systems.
And they have great rich text editor. I think
they do have a great
one of
text
the
editor.
best ones out there, I think.
Yes. I would say that this is something that they really put a lot of work in. They have a custom renderer for it. Definitely, if you're looking for a rich text experience, you should definitely check out Contentful.
That's one of the options, definitely. Also, you should probably keep in mind that their pricing is definitely on the top end of the spectrum. They are definitely one of the more expensive options. You pay for great quality, of course, but it's very apparent that their client base is mostly corporate and enterprise customers, I think.
Right. I mean, probably. It's hard to discuss pricing sometimes because they change, like pricings in this space change so much that it's.
Yeah, I'm just my personal opinion. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's probably go to CMS for many enterprises companies.
Yeah.
Right. So Contentful, another great CMS, very well established on the market, great rich text experience, very large team behind it.
Yeah, I would say that they probably also have the most integrations, as in this is the CMS on our list that doesn't really have a fully customizable admin panel, but still has a lot of ways to add to that admin panel.
Right.
Because you can write your own custom code to run inside of it.
And they have very good user management as well.
Yeah, they do have very granular permission systems. Yeah, so that's also something pretty important. And a lot of integrations. They really do take care of that, and I mean it's only natural since they had so much time to do that.
So another very solid choice.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you want to go with REST API, then you should probably simply roll with that. Perfect. Third on our list is Strapi. Strapi is a different kind of CMS, right?
So I would say that's definitely a CMS that you should check out. I haven't personally had that much experience with Strapi, but I know that Strapi's main goal is to be the most customizable CMS out there. And they really do live by that, because you can customize every single aspect of the CMS not only the data model, but also the entire admin panel and absolutely every single piece of it. You can make it completely your own.
So basically, you can program your own admin panel for it, right?
You can do absolutely whatever you want to it. They do provide some sane defaults, and they do provide tools to do that, of course. But you can basically make it whatever you want. The first thing in the getting started section is how to install it locally and how to start developing with it. So they definitely try to be the most customizable one.
Do you self-host the Strapi? Or can you? Because I don't think you can self-host Contentful nor
I'm not
CMS,
sure.
right?
I don't think you can self-host them.
Right.
But you can self-host the admin panel by yourself.
Okay. So just the admin panel itself. Right. I think that's quite a unique feature to be able to really granularly change every item in the admin panel by yourself.
Because usually when we talk about headless CMSs, we already also think about admin panels provided by specific vendors and tailored to what the vendor thinks is the best experience for you. But here in this scenario, we have the complete freedom to do like absolutely whatever you want with a custom admin panel, because maybe your needs are not only for very customizable content and very particular content shape, but maybe you also have a very particular needs in terms of editing content, and maybe you need to make your completely like your own permission system, or maybe some completely different way of structuring the folders and the data visually inside the actual editor. So that's definitely something where you should 100% check Strapi out.
Perfect. So would you say it's more of a corporate or startup type of CMS, or is it for both? And it's more about this customization thing.
I think everything on our list is pretty much suited for all the needs. I think Strapi is it's also good for everything. It's maybe not a question of scale or the type of endeavor you're on, but rather how customizable your admin panel really needs to be.
Right, and it will probably mean that you can do a lot more customization, but you will need to put more work up front to get your admin panel to the way.
That might be the case, because as I said, they do provide some same defaults. For example, I would say it's a good use case if you want a very, very specific text editor. Maybe you have like your own preferences. Maybe you build something from the ground up with Draft.js, or you have some very complex system for managing your content. Maybe in your old legacy CMS, and you want to move everything, but you still want to keep that type of editing experience. Then you can easily do that with Strapi and just replace the text editing part of it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we have Strapi, it's our third CMS of choice, which is all about customization.
Yeah, and probably there are a lot of other good things about Strapi. We definitely won't do it justice because of how because of really that we don't use it that much, right?
Yeah, of course.
But you should definitely check it out.
And the last one on our list is Ghost, which is an interesting case, I think, because it's at least to me, it feels a little bit more limited, maybe, to set structure, more WordPress-ish in that terms. Right.
Yeah, but because again, when we think about headless CMSs, we think about that freedom of modeling the data. Yeah. Whereas when we have Ghost, it's obvious that it's a platform made, or like a headless CMS made for a very specific reason, for a very specific audience, and that's the audience of people publishing the content, or rather not publishing. Everyone publishes content, but it's more of an audience that sort of newspaperish, news agency kind of content. So you have the similar structure to WordPress, right? You also have tags, posts, categories that you sort of are presented by default.
Right. So if you wanted to have modern headless architecture, but you sort of wanted this WordPress-ish experience.
If you're a news agency and you're very focused on very specific things that news agencies tend to focus on, like tag optimization or basically a lot of stuff that has to do with SEO and specifically publishing news, publishing blog posts, publishing like media content that's consumed that has ads served with it. If you're, I don't know, if you're a BBC or if you're
right, we get the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
So that would be kind of more niche targeted CMS. Well, they don't market
maybe
it that
not
way.
even niche, but they're made for very specific purpose in mind, and that purpose is to serve and monetize your content.
Right.
So if you would want to make a like an integration for your smart fridge, every single one of those CMS that we mentioned would be good, but Ghost probably would not be the best choice.
Right. So they are not that customizable, but they're quite.
I'm actually not. I think they are quite customizable because I think a lot of the parts are open source, but I'm actually not sure how much. I know that they cater.
Right.
They definitely cater more to the audience that wants to monetize the content, whether that be media or news. And you should probably expect most of their work to be put into that type of thing. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. What I meant was mostly that out of the box. The customization isn't like their main selling point.
No, absolutely. You can't like when you create your Ghost project, you can't like define your data from scratch. You kind of are put into a pretty predefined pathway.
Okay, perfect. So I think that's our summary. We have 4 CMSs, and I think we could sort of put them into 2 categories. First one would be general, very solid, customizable CMS. That would be Graph CMS and Contentful, and more specific use case CMSs. So Strapi for great customization and especially customization of the admin panel, and then Ghost CMS for news agency or any kind of company that works with articles.
Yeah, that's a good summary. It's also very hard to find a good word. It can change a lot because all these companies are growing like really fast, and the space is also changing really fast. So
and competitors come and go all the time.
Exactly.
So it's possible that we did this video.
Yeah, someone changes their business model. Someone gets better at doing something than the other, and
we should probably do an update on this in 6 months or a year, just to check out what's new in the.
100%.
All right, perfect. Thanks a lot. And
thanks.
Have a great day.
Yeah, have a good one.